Hello, Earthlings. How are you doing? I'm Rogério Vilela. We're starting another Inteligencia Ltda, the show where the limited intelligence is only part of your host here, because I always bring people who are smarter than me, more intelligent than me, more interested than me, and in a life that is much nicer than mine. It's always much nicer than mine, right? Why? Should I explain that? I'm not going to explain that. Okay, but I agree with you. It's always in your nice and my nice. Okay, I agree because the doctor told me that I shouldn't go opposite from you. Yeah. Okay, so this is special live stream, of course, so special. We have simultaneous interpretation like we had before, right? We love it. We love this whole simultaneous interpretation team. Guys rock. They're really good. They have a beautiful voice, right? They sound like that. They don't only sound nice, but they look good. Really? So what's going to be the participation for people who are watching our live today? So guys, this is a very special live stream. Very, very special. So if you want to send a super chat to us, do it on the super chat so that we can ask a question to our dear Vincent. And they say hello to Indaiatuba. We're not going to say that. Send hello to Recife. No. Send a question. We want a good question, okay? We're not going to say hello to your mom and dad. No. We have surprises. We do have surprises today, of course. We have typical Brazilian food for him to try. Yeah, we got Brazilian food. Yes, we got some gifts for him as well. Yes, lots of gifts. Very gifts? No, lots of gifts. What does it mean, man? What does very gifts mean? I don't know. I'm so nervous. All right. Got it. Relax, okay? So how's it going to be? People will send questions on Super Chat. So register to the channel, become a member, and that's it. Let's do it. So before I talk to Vincent, I want to talk to you at home. You, Earthling, who are at home. We have a new super special partner for today's episode, UNISA. Exactly. Yes. And let's talk specifically about medicine at the University of Santo Amaro, UNISA. Their med course is 55 years old, thus they can bring tradition and innovation together, also bringing old knowledge with the whole current technology, and technology everywhere, in the classroom, in the labs, and a school hospital, a teaching hospital. So UNISA has a brand new building with high-end technology, and this technology is really used in our education. You have the basic cycle, you have the clinical cycle. That's tough to say. Tongue twister, very good. So, and the internship. Yeah, internship is easier. Okay, so in the early cycles, you have experiences at the free clinics. And in all cycles, students have excellent professors and more. The med school at UNISA is offered in 2 units, Interlagos and Guarulhos. So Earthlings, that's such an infrastructure. They have a living space, sports area, amazing library. It's just so cool. So if you're thinking of going to med school, or you know somebody who is thinking about going to med school, think about UNISA. They're very traditional and innovative altogether. And you can register to start in the middle of the year. Go to the website, unisa.br, and register. Do you have a link? Yeah, we have a link. We have the QR code on screen. No excuses, okay? And we have a gift to our guest. Vince, we got a gift for you.
For me? Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, that's the very first gift you're going to get here. That's right? Yeah, we got more. We got more. We got so many more gifts. How do we say in France?
I'm allowed to open it, right?
Of course, you can open it. Sure. I don't know what's in there, but...
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a mug. We say caneca.
Got a little mug. Yeah. Caneca?
That's it.
Okay.
How do we say that in French? Tucci? Caneca. What about Japanese? Warashiro Wataro. Okay, great, thank you. So, Stanley, come on. Let's talk about our new sponsor at Inteligencia Ltda. I've used the service myself, as you know. I had the hair transplant. I even had some shows here. Remember, I was on bandage when I had just had my hair transplant. That became a meme all over the internet and Instagram with thousands of shares. So Stanley's Hair has the only hair program in the world to treat baldness, not only by doing hair transplant, but also the whole follow-up with therapy. They are awesome. We have a customized program for each person. 18-month medical follow-up, right? You need that. You need that. Yeah, I'm not playing. Yeah, I need it. So you have 18-month follow-up, 18-month hair therapy, customized for each patient, and it's special according to your hair. 100% safe, and you go back home on the same day, no pain, no scars. I had it myself. I started in the morning. At the end of the day, I was home. So you get as many pieces of hair as possible, getting the best result. This is the largest clinic for hair transplant network in Latin America. So Stanley's Hair is the only one with 100% results guaranteed or your money back. We have the QR code, link on descriptions for you to learn more about the procedure. So thank you so much, Stanley. So get a picture of me when I was bald. That would be a pleasure. My pleasure. I'll have you bald. Yes. So Insider, also another sponsor, come on Earthlings. So it's time to celebrate. Our big partner Insider is 7 years old, a lot of technology and innovation, a lot of celebration and a lot of new stuff. And for that, let me do this. I have this shirt here.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. Yeah. Okay.
So now I'm going to take this off to show the Insider shirt, which is right under that. My glasses are down. There we go.
Oh, not the glasses.
And I threw it over the equipment. Okay, so you know the new identity has changed. We have a new logo, a new website. Everything is looking nicer and more technological. So let's go to our general camera. You have the new Insider logo. And until the end of the month, we are going to have a lot of promotions, right, Tucci? Yeah, lots of big sales. And those like quick sales, right? You might get there and you don't have it there, right? Yes. So please be aware, our love products will be on sale at any moment on sale. Plus all the tech products. Is that today? Only today. Okay, only today. Is the managers going crazy? The manager is crazy. So use Intelligent12 coupon, go to QR code, link on description, and we also have a gift to Greg. So
cool.
Underwear, socks, and t-shirt for you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you
wow.
so much. I'm gonna be
this is the tech
so
shirt.
Comfortable. This is the shirt that you have? Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much. We're gonna be able to match.
It doesn't wrinkle. We're gonna match. Yeah, let's go out together. Same clothes.
Cool, yeah.
Here's like a country duo in Brazil. We wear the same clothes, and one is the first voice, the second one is the second voice. It's like a country duo in music, like country music.
Okay, and then we harmonize? Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be beautiful.
Deal.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So QR code on screen, link on description. Okay. Thank you so much, Vincent. That was quick, right? We talked SBT record. We managed to bring you here when everybody in Brazil was asking you to be here, right? So thank you so much for accepting our invite and being here with us.
Yeah. No, I'm really, really excited. Thank you for having me. Your space is awesome. This
It's cool, huh?
Really, really cool. I love this.
Every little thing is a gift from a guest that came here, and we just hang it around.
So I heard that. I was
brought
supposed
something?
to bring you a gift. So I'm going to bring something for you. It's not quite the same as your shirt, but this was what started this whole mess. So I figured I'd give you a shirt just like mine.
So this is where everything began, right? Square one.
Yeah. I was wearing that shirt literally earlier today. So, there you go.
That's a very valuable shirt. I'm definitely going to hang it in our set. So tell me about that, man. Did you have any idea that once you put on this shirt, this whole crazy stuff happened all over the country? You went from 200,000 to 6 million followers. Everybody, hey, bring the guy to Brazil. I mean, people are all over us. Hey, you have to bring Vincent. Could you imagine anything like that?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the way that all happened was I've known that Everybody Hates Chris was very popular in Brazil because a lot of people on social media comment on my pages in Portuguese, and a lot of my friends and coworkers know that. And I work on another show. I work on a show called Phineas and Ferb, which is a cartoon, and I play Phineas on that show. And the actor who plays Ferb, David Arrigo Jr., he's a really talented actor, but he's just my friend too, and he thought it would be fun to give me that shirt as a gift. And he did, and then he took a picture of me wearing it, and it sent my social media crazy, and now here I am in Brazil talking to you, which I never would have thought was going to happen 2 weeks ago. But I'm glad that it did, because this has been awesome. This has been an incredible trip so far.
So since you got to Brazil, you had no time to enjoy the country, right? You're full of appointments and everything, or did you have any time to sit down, have something to eat in Brazil? I mean, like typical Brazilian food.
I tried a couple of snacks earlier, but I haven't really had time to explore Brazil. I haven't had time to explore all your music or your food yet, but I'm hoping I get a chance to, and I'm hoping to. I know I'm coming back this summer, but I'm hoping to travel to Brazil more often now, and then I can see more of the country and I can try more of your food and experience more of your culture.
Well, we're gonna be together in July at Imagine Land, right? You're gonna enjoy it because it's a beach city, it's super warm. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love Brazil at all.
Yeah, I hear it's like right on the beach. I'm excited about that. Yeah, so it'll be fun too because at that convention, I'll get to meet a lot of fans like directly because there's definitely people stopping me on the street and we're stopping me in the airport to take pictures with me and everything like that. But it'll be a better opportunity to actually talk to fans of my work and take a picture with them or sign something for them. But it'll be fun.
So one more thing that probably you're not used to here in Brazil. I mean, in the US, when I go to the US, people are not very about touching and hugging, So watch out for that. People hug you and hold you and kiss you. Have you experienced that already? Have you felt the difference?
I've experienced a lot of people hugging me for sure, but it hasn't been way outside the ordinary or anything like that. Holding me, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll see if someone will, is gonna hold me like a baby or something. But it's been fun so far. I've only been here a day and a half, so I'll give it time. See if maybe someone will put a little bonnet on me and cradle me like a baby.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what everybody's talking about is about how nice you are and how you really help onto the Brazilian audience in a way that you really love the way that you responded to all the love that Brazilians showed to you. So it's just, I got here some products then. So Fabi is serving the food. This is a coxinha.
Okay. I had coxinha this morning. It's really good.
That's good, huh? But this is the best because it's from Real
Okay,
Bakery.
I'm excited. Yeah.
This is pão de queijo, the cheese bread. Have you tried that? Pão de queijo?
No, I haven't had that.
And what is that? Okay, this is a pork leg sandwich. So we're going to bring knife and fork for you. You can try.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to leave it here. We can try later. Have you ever had caipirinha?
No, I haven't. That's the drink, right?
Yeah, my wife is going to prepare the caipirinha for us, and we're going to have a little bit here.
Oh, okay.
Let's carry on with the conversation. Then we have a caipirinha, which is pinga, aguardente.
Yeah, okay.
Is that mine? What's that? Bolovo.
What is that?
Well, that's called bolovo. I doubt you ever tried anything like that. I mean, coxinha you've tried before, so try the cheese bread. You can eat with your hands. You don't need knife and fork for that.
Yeah.
Can you try?
You've tried coxinha before, right? So I'll have it myself.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
This one has catupiry, which is like the Brazilian cream cheese.
Oh, yeah, the cream cheese, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah,
That's
really
good, huh?
That's really good. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Please, somebody explain what the bolovo is to me.
Yeah,
What is
that?
bolovo? Bolovo, it's like it's a meatball with an egg inside, and it's deep fried.
Oh, it's a meatball with an egg inside. I actually can't eat that. I'm sorry. I'm kind of allergic to eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you better not.
If there's
You better not eat that.
yeah, if there's just like eggs in the batter, it's okay. But if I'm eating like an egg,
Okay,
yeah.
so we have coxinha here if you want to
Thank
try
you,
it.
though.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Vincent, I want to know about your childhood, man. When you were little and you're like growing up, would you ever imagine what you're doing today? What did you want to be when you were a child? What do you want to be when you grow up? And where are you born?
When I was a child, I wanted to be on this podcast, and
I could figure that. Of course, I could figure that.
Yeah. I right when I was born, I was like, I have to be on this podcast. No, I grew up in Florida, which is on the lower east coast of the United States. And I have 3 siblings. I ended up starting to get into acting when I was pretty young. I mean, I I started acting when I was like 10 or 11, and kind of one thing led to another, where it was like I was working on like a commercial and doing like an advertisement, and then I started getting auditions for TV shows, and I did a couple of random spots on TV shows, and then I booked something like Everybody Hates Chris, and that was a very consistent job for 4 years. And then while I was working on that, I was lucky enough to start working in voice acting and started working on a lot of cartoons and video games. And so I've been lucky to work on a lot of fun projects. And also, I'm lucky enough right now, it's not always like this in your career, but like that I'm working consistently and I'm working on things that I really enjoy and I have fun doing with people I love working with. So yeah, I mean, I if I could keep entertaining people and making cartoons and making TV shows and making films that mean something to people for the rest of my life, I'll be super happy, because this has been something I've really cared about for a long time. And that's one of the reasons why, you were saying that people are like, oh, he's so nice with his fans in Brazil. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you know this. You've created a very popular podcast, but when you do anything that you need support from fans to do, and when you do something that you care about and is your career and it's your work and you're passionate about it, having a response from a fan base who was like, not only, hey, we like you, but the work you did meant something to us. That's amazing. Like that's a very, very incredible thing, and I don't take it for granted. And so it's been really flattering and really nice seeing so many people be like, hey, we didn't even know you were on Phineas and Ferb, but we watched that too. And hey, I grew up watching you, and it's like you've always been a part of my life. And now I'm showing, there are people who, I'm in my early 30s now, who are showing Everybody Hates Chris or showing Phineas and Ferb to their kids. That's incredible. Like, that's a really amazing thing that I get to have this job, and it matters enough to people that they're now showing it to their children. That's cool. I never would have thought that as a kid, that I'd work on something that meaningful to people, but it's cool.
So what you're saying, Vincent, it's super cool, because it's like this love memory that people have, like having this idea that people got together around the TV with their family and everything. That's gonna last forever, right? Because it's not only one show, it's not just any show that molds people characters. I remember to this day, I'm older than you, so I remember to this day when I watched the shows when I was a little kid, and that made who I am. It's part of my life. So people, for example, I watched that a little older, but people who watch their shows a little younger, they're gonna remember that forever. So it's definitely so cool, and it's nice that you know how important you are for them.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really glad, that you enjoyed my work too. And yeah, I hope if I am lucky, I'll get to keep working on projects like that in the future that really matter to people and that people can grow up watching, or, really resonate with people. So, when all of these new fans kind of came into my life, who I guess they weren't new fans because they knew my work, but new fans have now been like directly supporting me. It's really fun too, because they can see the new shows that I work on, and now they can see, a cartoon I'm working on now, or a new TV show, or whatever it might be, and hopefully still get joy out of the work that I'm doing now. So it's been a very unexpected last 2 weeks. Like, who would have thought that my friend and coworker getting me a gift, would have brought so many eyes to to me and my career. But for me, it's been nothing but positive. People have been really friendly and really positive. It's been nice.
So Vincent, in your childhood, can you say you had like a normal childhood because of your job? Or maybe you didn't play in the street, or kind of had like a normal childhood? Was it different from other kids? What can you say about that?
I mean, the fact of being on TV makes it different. But what I think benefited me as a kid was a lot of child actors, like in teenage actors, they don't go to like school. Like they are homeschooled, or they're just schooled on set, which is fine. Like that's okay. But I think what helped me was whenever I wasn't shooting Everybody Hates Chris, I was going back home to Florida and going to public school with a bunch of other just normal kids.
Wow.
And I think that that's helped me in my life, just because I've always been around people in a normal way. And so yes, it was different, because I think that's different for the other kids at the school too. Like, kids aren't used to seeing someone they see on TV at school with them either. You know, like that's weird for them. But I was lucky that I had a good experience with it, and I just learned a lot during that time of like working on Everybody Hates Chris and working with the other actors and learning about performing and really deciding like this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, because you know I was a teenager becoming like a young man, and so that's kind of when you start thinking about, could I do this forever? Like, how do I want to apply myself in entertainment in different ways? And so it was a really important time in my life. So it's cool that it seems like it's been really important to a lot of Brazilians too.
So looking back, I can see that you're very grateful, and that's what you want to do, right? So what do you still want to do from now on? You've worked with voice acting, you were on a series and a TV show. We're going to talk about each one of those jobs. I want to kind of go on a timeline on that. But is there something that you want to do and you haven't done yet? Maybe music or whatever in your acting career?
There's nothing specific. I mean, I do a lot of sketch comedy, and I used to perform sketch comedy live in New York when I lived in New York, because I lived in New York for a couple of years. And I do a lot of sketch comedy with my comedy partner. His name is Mikey Reed. People who are on my Instagram now have seen our comedy together. And so I'd love to be able to perform that a lot more live, because we used to do that more in New York. And maybe do a sketch comedy show or something, you know, and have, you know, because I love, you know, Key and Peele and the Dave Chappelle Show and SNL, and I'd love to keep being able to do. That's something I haven't done on television. I've done it on stage, but I've never done it on scripted television. And so maybe that, because otherwise, I mean, I want to keep doing the things that I've been doing. I want to keep making cartoons, and I want to, you know, I want to keep making movies and television. It's not always, I mean, you're an entertainer. It's not always up to you. Like, you know, other people have to kind of give you access sometimes and let you do it. But if it were up to me, yeah, I mean, I would keep doing this job for as long as I can, because it's very fun.
So let's talk about your first important job. So you said you were in advertising, more punctually. And how old were you when you auditioned for Everybody Hates Chris? How old were you when you auditioned for that?
When I just, oh my gosh, that picture of me, that's
Look at
so funny. Wow.
How old were you?
I don't know how old I am in that picture. Maybe like 10. Maybe 10? Maybe 9 or 10? Yeah. I auditioned for Everybody Hates Chris when I was 12. I shot the pilot, and for your audience, I don't know if they know, so if I'm over-explaining, I'm sorry. But a pilot is basically the first episode that they test to see if the network wants to bring it back to be a full series. We shot the pilot when I was 12, and then when we started working on the first season of the show, I was 13. So I was very young. Yeah.
So that's something that people might not know here. When you shoot the pilot, there's no guarantee that it's going to air. It may be rejected, right? Or maybe they switch the actors or whatever. Is there a possibility?
Yeah, and that's happened to me. Yeah, I've worked on sitcoms that I've shot the pilot for, and they don't get picked up. And you really think, you know, you're like, wow, this was really funny. And we all worked really, you know, hundreds of people, like you have an amazing team here. A lot of people work really hard to make something happen. And so then when you don't get picked up, it's very disappointing. Same with cartoons. I've worked on cartoons that we have a pilot, the artists go and they animate the show, and then they're like, just kidding, you're not going to get to do the show. And then, you know, I've been in recast in things before too. Like, it's just part of being in the entertainment industry. So yeah, whenever you book a TV show, there's no guarantee that the TV show, you're going to get a season out of it or 2 seasons. Like, cause every year, unless you're really successful, every year you're kind of like, are they going to let us keep doing this, or are we done? And luckily we got to do Everybody Hates Chris for 4 years. Yeah.
When you get the green light, right? So when you get the green light, the show is gonna happen, right?
Yes.
So since very early, what was it like to work with rejection? Because when you audition for commercials or whatever, not always you're chosen. You see a lot of kids that kind of look like you. And how did you work with the rejection thing? You know, like not being picked or being excited about something, being anxious. What is it like then, and what is it like now?
Yeah. That's a good question. It's a very difficult part of the job. It still is today. I mean, I'm very used to it. Yeah. Shockingly, I'm used to rejection. No, just in my life. No,
Not only as an actor.
Yeah. Not only as an actor. No. But I mean, it's really hard at times because even now, there'll be times where I audition for something and I really want it because it's such a good project, or it's with a really good actor who I want to work with, and you get really close, and they're like, it's down to you and 2 or 3 other people, and you're like, maybe it's me, maybe it's gonna be me, and then it's not. And sometimes, like for example, I mean, Everybody Hates Chris was, I think, 4 or 5 auditions total, so that's over the course of 2 months. That's a while that you keep going back in and meeting new people. Phineas and Ferb, I auditioned for it like 3 times, and then I didn't book it for 6 months.
Wow.
6 months?
So that's
6 meses.
yeah. So that's a really long time to not know if you're going to get to work on something you really like. So it's tough. It's a hard part about it. And I tell young actors who ask me for advice is I'm just like, don't do it unless you really love this thing, like unless you're passionate about it and you can be happy. As I said, I've performed comedy live where I'm not making any money, like I've just, been
Really?
like, I want to perform. I want to go do something. Yeah. I've been to, comedy clubs in New York where I'm like, I want to do sketch comedy or I want to do stand up. And, it's very difficult to make money doing live comedy and, you have to really care about this thing because it's very hard to be successful at it. And there's a lot of rejection. So that still happens to me to this day. But I've been fortunate in my career to have worked on the things I've already worked on. And I know that. But yeah, it's tough. Rejection's obviously, it's tough for everybody. It happens to everyone in their careers. But I think it's more for people who are in entertainment. We get rejected a lot. Yeah.
So people don't know, but you do audition a lot of times. You even forget you're in the audition. Oh, I auditioned for that like months ago. They picked me up because you do so many things after that, right?
Yes, actually, with the example I gave of Phineas and Ferb, I do a different voice. It's not my own voice. A lot of times for cartoons, I make a voice that's different. I do a cartoons voice, and sometimes I'll book cartoons months later, and when I book it, I'll have to be like, can they play me my audition? I don't remember this. Like, I don't remember.
You don't even remember?
It was months ago. And I'm just like, I need you to play it back because I don't want to give them the wrong voice when I walk in the door now that I'm hired. And so I'm just like, can you play me my reference? Like, I need to know what was it that made you hire me? And that happened to me on Phineas and Ferb because it was 6 months later, and I was like, can you just give me my audition again just so I make sure? But yeah, it's sometimes I do forget. Yeah, I forget.
So could you do a little bit of the Phineas and Ferb, the voice that you do there?
Yeah. I think here in Brazil they probably have someone dubbing me. But when I work on Phineas and Ferb, Phineas talks like,
So, Ferb, what do you want to do today? Well, what about Perry? He is a platypus. They don't do much.
And that's how Phineas talks.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So when you go
Thank
for an
you.
audition for a cartoon, for instance, do you know where you have to go, or you do like different voices and people say that's what it is?
Yeah, well, especially for animation, something I love is, when I get an animated audition, they give me a breakdown of the character, a description, they give me the scenes, but I always want the art of the character because I think the art is so important. Like, that informs the audition so much of seeing what a character looks like and going, do I think this voice fits the character? And yeah, I mean, my favorite auditions are the ones where you go in and they direct you. They go, you're close. Let me try and help you I can see it. Like, it's in there. Your performance is in there. And I like those auditions the best. I really love that because now we're working together. Now you believe in me. You believe that I can get there. So, yeah, I like that.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
That is so cool, man.
You can tell it was like the middle of summer in this picture. I'm so Italian. I'm so Italian.
Yeah,
in the
you're
picture,
so
yeah.
Italian.
Yeah.
So what about your Italian family?
What about them? No, I'm just kidding.
I have Italian family too. There we go. There we go. Here's what we got.
Oh, yeah. This is great. Where did you get this? Have you just had it?
We bought it once we went to Florida. Yeah, we bought it in Florida.
Comprou na Flórida.
Oh, at Disney World?
At Disney
Yeah,
World.
okay.
Yes, cool.
I was about to say you had to have. There's very few places you can get these right now.
Yeah, I
Eu
imagine that.
É,
I never seen it in Brazil,
Yeah.
eu nunca vi,
really.
por exemplo.
Yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, it's a little pillow.
It's a pillow, yeah. You kind of open up and
Yeah, it turns into a pillow. Cool. Yeah,
So,
I'll
Vincent,
hand it back.
back to your Italian background. Have you been to Italy? What do you know about Italy in your background?
You know, I haven't been to
No?
Italy, and I need to go so badly. I've been.
You know that the capital of Italy is Paris. You got the Eiffel Tower and everything. You're aware of that, right? Right?
Yeah,
the Eiffel
definitely.
Tower.
Yeah. I thought it was London. I thought it was Big Ben. I thought Big Ben was
No,
there.
London was the one with the Coliseum.
I know. Yeah. Have you spent much time in Italy? Have you gone to?
Yeah,
Italy?
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Okay.
My wife is from Italy, so we went around
Yeah.
with my son. My son was like 1 or 2 years old. Italy is amazing. You're gonna go crazy when you go to Italy. It's so cool.
Yeah. I can't wait. I have to go. Yeah. I have a lot of friends who have been, and I'm slowly learning how to, speak Italian. So I want to get fluent before I go. So it'll be a little bit left, but.
You gotta learn to speak with your hands. You know that, right? Italians speak with their hands.
Yeah. That I've already got down, I think. Yeah. And then I've got to learn. Now I definitely have to learn Portuguese. What was nice is some people will message me things in Portuguese, and I can pick out some words that I know in Italian that I'm like, that I guess, and I'm like, is that what this means? And it ends up being right. And then other times I'm super, super wrong. But yeah, no, I'll have to go to Italy one day for sure.
So
Absolutely.
one thing you have to learn about Portuguese is the following. Let me teach you. Se quiser, sim, mano. It's like this. If I ask you something, you say, do you want to go to Italy? Or can you go to Italy? I say, se quiser, sim, mano. Try that.
Se quiser,
Mano.
sim,
Mano's bro.
Manu.
If you want to, yeah, bro. That's what it means. Okay, it has been
If you
translated
want to,
too.
yeah, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I got it now. Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
Sorry.
Se quiser, sim, mano. We're trying to translate. There's a translator in his mind. It's like, wow, I'm going crazy.
I know. Sorry.
Se quiser, sim, mano.
Se quiser, sim,
Got
mano. Like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's people from São Paulo. That's how we speak here in São Paulo.
Okay.
Mano. It's like, bro. Vai Corinthians.
Vai Corinthians. What was that?
It's the biggest soccer team in Brazil. Maybe the biggest soccer team in the world, Corinthians. So Vai Corinthians is Go Corinthians. That's what we scream in the stadium. Vai Corinthians.
okay,
Go
I understand.
Corinthians. Okay, but about soccer, I have another gift for you. I don't know if you know about the meme, which is Vincent
I
Ponte
have seen this
Pretano.
meme.
There we go. The guys from Ponte Preta, the soccer team, sent me a jersey to give it to you. Please, let's get the picture.
So funny.
You are aware of that, aren't you?
So funny. Yeah, but you know what I'm not aware of? Where does it come from? Why?
Okay, I'll explain that.
I think it's a little too small. Maybe not.
Is it?
Oh, wow, it says my name on the
Yeah.
back. Hey.
The Ponte Preta soccer team sent you directly from them. It was specially made for you.
That's actually so nice. That is very, very nice.
So, Mantíbula is going to explain the whole thing about Greg Ponte Pretano.
Because I've seen
You
the
saw the
picture.
picture, right?
I've seen the
There you
pictures,
go.
but I don't know. Yeah, but what's the deal?
There you go. Actually, it's a page of memes of the São Paulo soccer. So it's a page of memes of São Paulo soccer. They took this picture, they made this picture, and Corinthians is the most hated team in São Paulo. As is the biggest team.
Oh, that's your
Yeah,
team.
everybody
Your
hates
team.
them.
Okay.
And Chris is wearing the Corinthians shirt, so everybody hates Chris. Everybody hates Corinthians.
Oh,
Got it?
okay. And those are all the other teams in Brazil?
So everybody's all the
No.
other teams. The other teams are like really big teams, you know? And then they're missing one team, which is Ponte Preta, right? They're all teams from the city of São Paulo here. They're all from the big city. But there
Okay.
was,
Oh, all of these are from
Yep.
Sao Paulo. Okay.
except for Ponte Preta, that's a team from the countryside of the state. It's a different city called Campinas. So that was very random that they put you with the Ponte Preta jersey.
Yeah.
So besides the meme getting famous because everybody hates Corinthians, it got pretty famous because Greg with the Ponte Preta jersey was very random. So when people say something random, something absurd, we send a WhatsApp card, you know, like a WhatsApp sticker with that.
É uma coisa nonsense.
I have been wondering what the meme was. I knew it was soccer related. I knew it was football related, but I never understood it. I never knew what was going on. Oh, that's cool though, I guess. Yeah. I love being a meme for a good reason. Yeah,
it's a sticker. Everybody sends those stickers on WhatsApp, on the messaging, you know. That's the Ponte Preta sticker.
That's super cool.
So, one more thing. Have you met David Moscov is the real-life Greg? Have you met the guy? The real-life guy?
No, I never have. No, I've never met him. I mean, I've seen pictures of Chris and him together, and I've talked to Chris Rock, obviously, about who he was and how they knew each other and what his time was like in high school. But I mean, you know, what's nice about the show is it's loosely based on Chris's life. Like Chris has far more siblings in real life and things like that. But no, I've never met him. I just, he must be like a really good looking guy, you know? He must be.
He should be, right?
Handsome, you know? Yeah.
They always make people better, right?
I bet he's not a meme, but I am. So, yeah, there you go.
Check it out.
I've never seen the young picture of him. I've never seen that picture.
Really?
I've seen a different picture, but not that one.
And he's Jewish, and in the show, there was never clear that your character is Jewish, right?
No, just Italian. Yeah.
So you became Italian on the show.
Yeah. Probably because I'm
That's
just Italian. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your parents, what did they do? What was their take on your career when you decided to work with acting? What did they say about it?
I mean, they were always very supportive of me acting. I mean, they're super supportive right now. I know last night I was doing the late night show last night. I was doing the Noichi, and my dad was watching. We were FaceTiming each other while it was on in my hotel room. Because he was like, this is so fun, like this is really wonderful, and he was watching, and my older brother was watching and talking to me about it. So my family, I mean, we all support one another. So, but they were supportive of me doing this as a kid. And I mean, that's hard too, I think, for my siblings. I was gone for a couple of months because I was filming, and then also one of their parents was gone to help take care of me on set. So I feel like that's hard. I mean, I've had conversations with them about that as I've gotten older, where I'm just like, yeah, like that. I feel bad that happened, but at the same time, they're super supportive, and I'm lucky that we were able to stay close and support one another through. It's a weird thing I feel like it's probably a weird thing having one person in your family be on TV, But what's really great is my older brother has a niece, or has a daughter. Sorry, she's my niece. And what's really exciting is they're going to be able to show her, cartoons I've worked on and things like that. And she's going to get to grow up watching cartoons that I've worked on. And that makes me so happy. Like, I can't wait. That's going to be so exciting.
So when you were in the show, how long did you shoot for? For like a few months or a few weeks? How long was a season shot for?
It was a few months. Some shows work like 3 weeks on, 1 week off and have a hiatus, but we didn't. We would shoot straight through, and one of the reasons why was because there's so many kids on the show, and obviously when you're under 18, you can only work a certain amount of hours, and then on top of that, they have to school you. They have to send you to school, like on set, but they have to have a teacher there. And so at first we would film from July through the new year, through like January, through early January.
July through January.
Yeah. But then they switched it and made it April through September so that we wouldn't have to be in school for a lot of it. So that they didn't have to, send us away to school for a couple hours, and we could just shoot faster. And so, yeah, it was almost like half the year every time we would do it. So it was like 13 through like 17 and a half that I worked on it, something like that. I think, 17 and a half, probably around there. Almost 18, yeah.
And do you have any idea why in Brazil this show, even portraying a American reality, do you have any idea why it's been so successful here? I have some theories about it. I was talking to Mandíbula about it. Do you have any theory on why it's been so successful here in Brazil?
I'd love to hear your theory first, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, but I'm not sure if it's the same theory as yours, so I want to hear yours first.
There we go. Mandíbula, help me out. We're just talking that, first of all, it's politically incorrect, and people in Brazil like it. They like this kind of humor. Secondly, it portrays a little bit of Brazilian people's reality, you know, like poor people who are really fucked. You shouldn't have said fuck in this family show, okay? Sorry about that. Choose a different word. Yeah, in trouble. In trouble. We're in trouble. Fucked is not a nice word. Fudido. Okay?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like when you say Palmeiras, it's the same thing. By the way, can you say something to me? Just say Palmeiras não tem mundial.
What does that mean?
It's a team, a soccer team here in Brazil, and they never won the world championship.
Oh, so you want me to curse them out? No, I don't want to make any enemies on that team.
Okay,
I'm not doing that.
Okay, all right, yeah. People are going to come to me. The curse is going to get back to me. But everybody knows that Palmeiras has no world championship, right? Okay, go ahead. So I was going to say that Brazilian people's reality, there's still a lot of racism, right? We have structural racism here in Brazil, so a lot of people identify with that. They think about having 2 jobs, right? Yeah, my dad had 2 jobs. He worked in a company and then he taught at night. That's true, I have 2 jobs. That's true, you work here and somewhere else. So those are the things that we talked about, politically incorrect. People like that kind of humor. The hard life, you know, like in the ghetto here in Brazil, it's pretty tough. What about your theory? What is it like?
So yeah, that's something I was talking to somebody about the other day.
And one more thing, sorry. There's one thing, the dubbing. The dubbing here is so good. So good.
Yes, yeah. I received a message from my voice actor, and that was really, really great. Eric does a really, really wonderful job with my voice. I haven't spoken to the other voice actors, but the voice acting is really good, and I've had to do dubbing work before, and it's hard. It's difficult. So I mean, I even appreciate the work the translators are doing right now for us. Wonderful.
We got a message from him to you. Yeah,
my
just
man.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, no, but I agree with what you were saying, and I was talking with someone else about that, was there are similar economic realities that happened in the show that a lot of families have experienced in your country, as well as institutional and structural racism, which the show it's definitely politically incorrect, but really satirizes. Like, there's a lot of satire when it comes to the racism that that families faced in the 80s, but also still face right now in the United States. Obviously, I guess I can't speak for your country, but I've heard that, as well as having like an interracial best friendship is important too, because of the racial dynamics that happen in your country. Is something that I've also heard, is white people and black people being very good friends, and that having a history that's not always been great in both of our cultures. So I've heard that before as the theory, and I mean, that makes sense. I feel like there are other countries where that would be similar, even beyond just Brazil and the United States. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of a lot of places in the world. And that's what they were trying to do with the show. They were trying to satirize all this stuff and make it, make a show that people who have been through all of those really not great scenarios, and make them funnier and make them, accessible to people who have dealt with all that. Yeah.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So let's see the message from the voice actor. We don't get the audio, sorry. That's Eric, right? Ready? Okay, while they get it ready, I have another question. Is it good?
It's good. That's really good. Yeah.
That's different. It's different from the one you had, because that one's that catupiry, the cheese, the cream cheese inside. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So Vincent, there was this conversation of the show turning into animation. How did that develop? About Everybody Hates Chris. Is there such a possibility?
Yeah, I think I'm allowed to
cool,
at least say yes, that there is a possibility. No, I believe that they've already released stuff saying that they're working on it. I do know quite a bit of things about it. I just can't talk about it. But the reason I think it came about is because not only is the show still really popular internationally, a lot of people in the United States grew up loving the show. But during COVID, I know it was one of those shows that people binged again a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it ended up on, I think, like Hulu in the United States. It's probably different here because the different countries have different.
What is it called?
Hulu. Como assim?
Hulu.
Okay, Hulu. Yeah, we don't have it here. Hulu is part of the Hulu content usually goes to a different streaming company here in Brazil. We don't have Hulu here in Brazil, right?
Yeah, I was about to
We
say
don't. I think it's on Disney here.
Eu acho que o material vai pro Disney.
it's on Disney here. Okay, yeah. So it's on different networks, but during the pandemic, I know a lot of people rewatched the show and streamed it and watched the whole thing, and so I think that probably let people know that, hey, people care about this show enough, like maybe we can do an animated version of it or something. And I can't tell you anything else about it, unfortunately.
That means if you cannot say something about it, it means that there's a chance.
Mas só pra
So,
falar
let me say,
que a-
I read that
a
MTV
MTV
had
tinha
announced that they're going to
anunciado que ia
release
lançar
the
animação.
animation, but that was 2 years ago.
É mesmo?
You know,
Aí
it's
por
been
isso que eu falei, como
it's
faz
been 2
2
years
anos
since
que eu
I
não
heard
ouço
of it.
nada a
I'd like to
respeito,
know
eu
if
queria
they
perguntar
he could
se
say
pudesse
something about it. He can't. Otherwise, if he says something, he's gonna kill us.
You know what's crazy is, as a voice actor, I can tell you that just for like time's sake, I started working on Phineas and Ferb in 2006, and we didn't premiere until 2008. So I guess I'm not really surprised that you haven't heard anything in a while. It takes a really long time to animate shows. When I work on an episode of any animated show, this is the day, like the day I record it to the day you guys see it is about like 10 or 11 months. So it's a really long process. So just because you haven't heard anything for a while doesn't mean that it
The
doesn't
question
exist.
has been answered. Thank you so much.
Muito obrigado.
Are you happy?
Tá feliz?
But it hasn't, because I didn't say anything officially. No one can say that I said anything. I was just explaining how animation works.
Okay, got it.
So
That's something people don't get it, you know, how much work it takes for animation, even with computers and everything, because it's really like a manual work and 24, 48 frames per second. I mean,
I honestly, most people don't understand how much work, definitely don't understand how much work goes into animation and how long it takes. But even the amount of people that it takes to make a TV show or a movie, I mean, that's hundreds of people who are all working. It's not just the actors, you know, it's construction, it's art department, it's writers, it's all these people working to make this thing that you all see on TV. So it's a lot of people working really hard, and it makes it that much more embarrassing when I walk in and I mess up my lines. And I'm like, oh, there's like hundreds of people who just, okay, my bad. I know you.
come on, you just had to say it. Just say it, right?
I know, yeah. I was like, you guys have been here since 5 a.m, like lifting the set around, and now I'm just messing up all my lines. Cool, sorry. Yeah.
So,
Quando você tá fazendo,
when you're doing like
a voz
the original
original,
voice, do people
o pessoal
film you
filma você também
on
pra pegar
the
um
voice
trejeito
acting to
pra passar pro
transfer that to the
personagem,
character,
ou
or there's no such a thing?
No. I go in and I record everything by myself. I've worked in a recording booth with other people before, but it's really rare. They used to do that more in the 90s. It's very expensive to have the whole cast in there. And so usually it's just me not acting off of anybody. So that's like a skill you kind of have to learn to do when you make cartoons. Is you have to make it seem like we're having a conversation right here when we're not.
Yeah.
It's just me talking to nobody. And that's, you know, we have lovely voice directors who help me and make me sound good at my job. But yeah, it's just me by myself. Then they send it away to animators. Animators do their best with it. It comes back. I do all the rewrites that they've given me. I make, you know, I fix my mistakes. And then a couple months later, you guys get to see it on TV or, you know, a movie in a movie theater or something like that. But it's a long process with animation.
Mandíbula here, who is a big fan of your show.
da sua série.
That episode, you want to talk about that
Aquele
episode,
episódio,
that question you
aquela
have,
dúvida que você
and what
tem,
was
o
said
que foi
there,
falado lá,
Eu-
o
and what you
que
told
você falou pro
Chris.
Vamos
Let's
lá.
show that
Coloca
picture.
aquela imagem pra gente, tá?
He's gonna remember that, so
Ele vai
explains to
lembrar.
him.
Explica
So,
pra ele.
first of
Primeiro eu quero
all,
explicar pro
there's a
Vincent
very
que é um momento
specific
muito
moment in the show. I
específico
don't know
da
if you're
série.
gonna
Não sei se
remember
ele vai
that,
lembrar,
but it's an
mas
episode
é um
where
episódio
Chris
que o
starts
Chris começa
dating
a namorar
Tasha.
com a Tasha.
And then Greg
E aí o Greg
gets really
fica
jealous.
muito
He gets
enciumado,
jealous
fica com
and he
ciúmes, e
says,
acaba falando pro
Chris,
Chris
that
que
their
a
friendship is
amizade
going to
deles
be
vai
over,
acabar,
that
que
the
a menina
girl
vai
is going to
destruir a
destroy their
amizade deles.
friendship, and
E aí o Chris
Greg,
chega no ouvido dele e
Chris
cochicha algumas coisas que a Tasha
whispers
fez
something in
com
his ear
ele.
that Tasha did to him,
E aí o
and
Greg,
Greg
na
gets
hora,
really
fica
surprised and
surpreso
changes his mind. He
e
said,
muda
it's
de ideia,
okay.
fala que tá
I'd
tudo
like
bem.
to know if
Eu
you
queria
know,
saber
if
se
you
você
remember what
lembra
was
o que foi
whispered to
puxado
you at
pra
that
você.
moment.
Yeah. He,
You do? Oh my God, we're going to know
Você vai
that?
saber finalmente?
Yeah, he was whispering that I was going to be on your podcast. And I
knew it.
In 10 years, he was like,
I knew it.
In 10 years, I'm going to be on this podcast. And I was like, oh my God, that's been my dream since I was born.
You're kidding. You're kidding me,
Yeah,
right? Come on. No way. That's
Serious,
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, say it.
No, I have absolutely no idea what he was whispering to me.
Oh, come
No
on.
idea. I have no idea.
Até
I have
por-
no idea.
Because
Até
nothing
porque não
comes
sai
out,
nada.
right? I
Às
mean,
vezes-
sometimes
às
the
vezes o
actor
ator
doesn't
nem
even say
cochichou
anything,
nada,
right?
né?
But that's
Mas
the
a
idea
ideia
that she
que
did
passa
something
que ela fez alguma
forbidden
coisa
to him,
proibida
right?
com
At that
ele,
moment.
né, no momento.
He could have said anything,
I'm-
right?
Yeah. I'm sure he whispered something to me, but I don't know. I was like 15. I remember. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember.
How can I remember?
Do you remember when you were 15? I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, I'm like really
Yeah, let's
specific
do it.
question. Yeah. It's just really hard. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Yeah.
But you see,
Mas você vê?
a lot of
várias
people
pessoas
asked us
pediram
to
pra
ask
gente
you that
perguntar.
question. A lot of
Várias
people asking
perguntas
the same
iguais sobre
thing.
essa cena.
That's so
Você
funny.
vê?
No one has ever asked me that question. Yes, I've never heard
People
that.
here, Danilo at the Noite yesterday didn't ask that. Please ask this. That's what they told us.
Falaram pra gente.
Okay, funny. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no one has ever asked me about that scene before. But I will say I was just talking with someone about this earlier today on an interview about how Brazilian fans do ask me more specific questions about Everybody Hates Chris than I've ever been asked. And that'll happen in my comments sometimes is people will be like, they'll reference something and I'm like, that's got to be from the show. And I'll have to like go watch an episode and be like, oh, that's the joke they're talking about and that I didn't understand. Like one of them, when I posted that picture in the shirt, everyone was asking me if a lot of people, like the way it was translated in, Google Translate's not perfect. But a lot of people were like, that's the danger shirt. That's the shirt, the danger. And I was like, what? And I was like, what is everyone talking about? And I was like, oh, a shirt bought from Risky, the character in the, because I was like, why do they think I'm being dangerous? I was like, why does everyone think I didn't tell anybody that I was doing anything dangerous. And I was really confused for a minute. But that happens with the Brazilian fan base is they say something so specific from the show. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So you guys are keeping me honest. You guys are keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, it's like the dude, you're so into there. That became such an iconic sentence. Everybody says that. We use that for everything. Not only relationships, right? We use it for anything.
Qualquer coisa mesmo.
Like, we don't use it when a girl is so into there, but for a job, like I had a job interview. Dude, you're so in there. Like it's gonna happen, So
Really?
it became a thing. It became like a popular language thing. It became an expression.
You guys actually, you just say it like out in your normal life. It's not just
Yeah,
on my
regular life.
Instagram.
The whole time.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Okay. You know what's interesting? I just thought about this, and I don't think I've ever talked about this in an interview. So I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had planned when you were 15 to say that here now.
Yeah, we don't always plan for it. Is something that happens when you shoot, a TV show or a movie that's in the past. There are, inaccurate. Like you try to make sure that everything's accurate for the time. And one of the things we didn't know about was that we had the writers went and checked was whether people were saying "dude" in the 80s. Or whether people in the 70s in the United States anyways would say groovy or that's groovy. You wouldn't say that's groovy now. And so specifically with dude, where I would be like, dude, on the show and high five them and be like, all right, if you go far enough back, people weren't saying, hey, what's up, man? People weren't talking like that. And so that was dude, the word dude was a specific thing that the writers were like, let's go see if, make sure that kids would have said that. And now it's my catchphrase from that show, but it was something that they made sure at the right time that it would have I find it interesting. I don't know. It might not be interesting to your audience, but I've never told anybody
That's
that
so
story before,
interesting.
É muito
Yeah,
interessante.
definitely.
Não, é muito
Because
interessante.
here,
Porque
for
aqui
instance, in
também,
the
por exemplo, nos
70s,
anos 70,
some things
tem
got
algumas coisas
lost.
que se perderam, né? Então
So
você vai falar,
when the
a
woman
mulher
says that
Yeah.
he
o cara é
looks
bonito,
nice in the
falava
70s,
nos
they
anos
say that
70,
that guy is a
você-
bread.
Aquele cara é um pão.
Or he's a
falava,
sprout.
broto,
Broto is the word for
né?
sprout.
Broto,
That
é.
girl is a
Nossa, aquela
sprout.
garota
Broto.
Você
Nobody
usa hoje em dia,
understands that if you say it,
Yeah.
right?
Não é?
Do balacobaco.
Or you're dubalacubaco. That's old.
Antigamente era...
We didn't say-
não falava
What does that
balada.
mean?
Like for balada,
What does
which
that
is
one
for
mean?
like going out clubbing.
É impossível de
Awesome,
traduzir.
awesome.
So you look cool? Okay.
Awesome, é.
Yeah, like now in the United States, like people will be like, "Oh, that's fire," to say that something's cool. Like we wouldn't have been able to say
Really?
that on Everybody Hates Chris because it wouldn't have made any sense. Like it wouldn't. That doesn't fit the time, you know. So yeah, I don't know.
So
Eu vou aproveitar o lance
segueing
ela
on
tá
the
dando sua,
dude you're
ela
sewing there,
tá
because I
dando
got my
sua,
wife
tá aqui uma
here,
mulher.
and I
Eu
like
gostaria que você
you.
falasse pra-
I mean,
quando
she's
ela vai
gonna
me entregar aqui
bring me
uma
the
caipirinha,
caipirinha. I want to
quero
record
gravado
that
pra
for
minha
live
vida, que
and
assim,
say ela tá tão na sua,
Okay.
which is a translation, right? So you're
Vai
gonna try
experimentar
caipirinha, which is
que
really
é muito
good.
bom.
Thank you.
So you
Você
sit
senta
here.
aqui, e aí você
Go ahead. Let's kiss
Beijo,
me.
beijo, beijo, beijo. Vincent,
Greg, come on.
Ela tá tuna sua. Did I do that
Awesome.
right? Did I do that right?
That's right.
Foi certo.
Yeah, it's good though. Thank you,
In English?
dude. You're so in there. Yeah.
Valeu, obrigado.
Okay, we're gonna
Hoje
make it
tem,
today. You know, we got it
Obrigado.
today.
Significa
You
hoje
know what it
tem?
means? We got it today?
No, it's good. Yeah.
I told her, we have it
Falei pra
today.
ela, hoje tem.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.
Aqui, ó. Saúde. Saúde.
So what else is in this? Is it strawberries?
Strawberry
Morango, pinga? O que é?
vodka.
O que você colocou?
Yeah, strawberry vodka.
Morango.
Morango. I'm speaking English. I'm saying Portuguese with an English accent.
Morango.
Okay, strawberry.
Strawberry.
gonna put that.
Fala.
Go ahead, Mandíbula. So,
Eu queria
as
aproveitar
you're talking
deixa
about
que o
it,
Vincent falou
that
que eles foram
they,
puxar se realmente
when
era
they're to
falado
research
a-
if they had those
os
catchphrases in the
né, falados
slang, you know, from the time.
nos anos 80.
And one thing I
E uma coisa
read,
que eu tinha lido que o Vincent
yeah,
Catchphrase é
the
bordão,
catchphrases,
só pra
exactly.
entender.
O bordão.
So,
E o
I
Vincent, eu
read
tinha lido
somewhere,
o Vincent, ele
Vincent
deu uma
gave an
entrevista
interview
tempo
some time
atrás
ago
falando
saying
que
that
ele
he
pegou
got
furo de roteiro
a hole
da
in
primeira
the
pra
script from the
segunda
first and the
temporada,
second
que eles
season.
deram
They have
salto
like this time leap
temporal
from 82 to
pra
84, right?
84, né?
Yeah, I'm so glad we get to talk about this. Because no one ever asked me about this. I talked about it one time on my friend's, like my friend had a podcast years ago, and we worked together on the show, so we talked about it. But basically, are we good? Oh, sorry. Basically, the way that the show works is it starts in the fall of 1982, and it ends, the school year ends in the spring of 1983. And then I got the script. I was like 14 or something. I got the first script for season 2, and it said fall of 1984. And I went to set, and I asked about it. I was like, hey, what happened? Why is there a time jump? Why did we skip a year? And I think it was just everyone was too busy to pay attention to what I was asking. Like, I think everyone was just like, whatever, dude. Like they weren't trying to be mean or something. I think they were just like, there's too much going on. We're all filming. And I asked like a couple people about it. And then like 2 days before the season 2 was premiering, I was talking with some of the writers and some of the producers, and they're like, are you excited about the show coming back? And I was like, I am excited. I just hope that people don't ask us about how we skipped a year. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, the year that we skipped a year. And everyone said we didn't. Everyone was like, no, we definitely didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, I think we did. And then they like had like a panic meeting where they all like called it, like, and they talked about it, and they're like, oh my God, we totally skipped a year. And we couldn't fix it at that point because there are a lot of jokes in the show that are very specific to 1984. Wow. Like, we're making jokes in episodes we already shot now because it had been a couple months. We were, 10 episodes in when the show's premiering. And we're making jokes about movies that came out in 1984 in the show. We're making jokes about music that came out in 1984. So it wasn't as simple as just changing the date at the beginning of the show. But I'm not really surprised they didn't listen to the 14-year-old, actor who was like, guys, I think we met a script a year. Like I'm not really surprised.
I can only imagine that. I mean, just a kid saying something. A lot of people working hard. Okay, all right.
I know, whatever. But honestly, no one noticed. Like I don't get questions about that. This is the second time I've ever talked about it. I don't think anybody else asks the other actors about it. No one ever talks about it. And I was really convinced. I was like, at this time, this was like blogs instead of Twitter. I was like, they're going to be blogging about it. They're going to be, hitting up my MySpace. And, I was like, oh no, they're going to tell me that it's wrong. And nothing happened. No one ever noticed. So we're okay. Yeah.
So what's your relationship with the other actors in the show? Were you closest who with like the older actors? Did you talk about acting, about life? What is it like on set?
Yeah, I mean, I was super lucky working on Everybody Hates Chris because while I was growing up with the other young actors and we were all learning how to be comedians and how to be performers better, we had two actors, Terry Crews and Tashina Arnold, who had been in the industry for a while, especially Tashina. I mean, Tashina had been in numerous sitcoms already. She's on a really great sitcom right now. And so those two people being able to ask these like veteran actors, hey, am I doing a good job today? Like, how does this look? Was a very valuable resource. And also the writers were really vocal with me. Like I hung around the writer's room a lot when in the last season. So I really want to be like, how does this all work? I want to make sure that I know how all these episodes, from start to finish, how it works. Because, I'm 17, 18. I'm, really wanting to see what happens. But I'm super friendly with all the actors I worked with on the show. And I'm super supportive of all of them. And it's been fun to see where everyone's career has gone and all the different things that people are working. I mean, Terry's, always working on something new. He's hosting shows and he was doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Tyler is great in Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary is so good. And he's so talented on that show. And yeah, everyone is, everyone's working on different things in their career. And I'm just happy for all of them because it feels like it's a bunch of people I went to high school with, It feels like I grew up with them.
That's true,
I did.
yeah.
And so it's like every time I see them, and it's not like we all hang out every weekend or something, but like every time I see them, it feels like someone you grew up with where you're just like, oh my gosh, almost no time has passed. Like I've known you since I was 13. And so I want the best for all of them. And what's really cool is, I've gotten to watch them all in their careers do really well.
Do you remember any like backstage conversation with any of those more experienced actors that maybe comes to mind now? Any comment, anything they said in the backstage?
Chris Rock gave me really good advice.
So Chris Rock, for those who don't know, is the comedian, and the show is based on his life, right? And he's one of the biggest stand-up comedians of all times, in my opinion.
Ever, yeah, ever. He's one of the biggest comedians ever, and he was very famous still when he still is. But when we were working on the show, and I remember I was 13 years old, and we had just finished the first season, and he was like, "You did a great job this year, Vince. I'm happy for you." He's like, but one piece of advice now that you're in Hollywood, don't smoke crack. And I was like, what? He's like, stay off the pipe. Don't come back here for season 2 and be addicted to crack. And I was like, I won't be. And you know what? I've never smoked crack. Had he not said that to me, who knows what would have happened. But,
we
he saved me.
tested here before he came in. We had a drug test before he started, and he's clean. He does not smoke crack.
It's true, yeah. Yeah.
Look how cold that is.
Yeah. Oh, all these babies.
So a whole movie goes to your mind when you see those old pictures or excerpts from the show, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like remembering when you're in high school. It's all my teenage years. And what's funny is no, I don't remember every single joke from the show or something like that, but I have really pretty much nothing but fond memories of the time. I mean, I got lucky that I worked on a show where everyone was very supportive, and I really felt like I learned a lot because a lot of our writers came from other really big shows, and they came from writing on SNL like Saturday Night Live, and they were people who had worked with Chris Rock. I mean, Chris Rock's been working since forever. He started on Saturday Night Live, so getting to work with those writers who have been writing comedy for 20, 30 years, that kind of experience is invaluable. So it was a great time.
So you're talking about a very nice and pleasant experience. Was there no stress whatsoever, like getting nervous and like that stage fright or whatever? Was there like a cool atmosphere? Oh my God, if I get the line wrong or if I keep getting it wrong, how was it? How's the vibe there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's definitely times when you get nervous. I've definitely been, and it surprises me when it happens. Like, I don't know if it ever happens to you anymore because you've interviewed so many people, but it kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden I'll have to perform something. I'll be like, oh, wow, I'm like really anxious. I wasn't expecting this. Or I'll be like, my leg will be shaking, And I'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting to be nervous. But the one day on set I remember being more nervous than anything was our showrunner, Ali Leroy, who's a great, super talented writer and comedian. He came up to me one day and he was like, hey, we're about to shoot this scene. He's like, Sam is on set today. Do you want to go say hello to Sam? He's gonna be watching you act. And I was like, oh, sure, yeah, okay. And so we were walking up to, there's this area called Video Village, which is like where you can watch what the cameras see. So it's usually where the director and the writer hang out. And I was like, yeah, I'll go meet Sam. Who could that be? And we walked up and he walks up to this man who's, not facing me. He's like, hey, Sam, I want you to meet Vince. And he's like, oh, yeah, Vincent, of course. He turns around. It was Samuel L. Jackson.
Wow. That's Sam.
Oh, Sam.
That's Sam.
Yeah. And I literally couldn't speak. And he like shook my hand. He's like, yeah, I'll be, I'm watching today. And I was like, you're watching us today? And he was like, yeah, I'm shooting something next door. I wanted to come by. And he knows Chris and he knows. And I like walked away and the showrunner was like crying, laughing. He's like, I really got you good, right? I was like, yeah, man, that's Mace Windu. Like, what are you talking about? You got to warn me before you introduce me to Mace Windu. That dude's a Jedi Knight. And yeah. And then I had to go and perform while, a member of the Jedi Council watched me. So it was crazy. But that was definitely like the most like stressful on-set experience I had on that show. I was like, oh my God, don't mess up. Don't mess up in front of Samuel L. Jackson. He got all those snakes off that plane. I don't want to.
So do you remember if you did well that day or if you got nervous or something?
I think I did okay.
Okay.
As you can see, I have no
So you're free.
lightsaber. I have
You're
no
alive,
lightsaber
right?
Marks. Yeah.
You're alive.
I'm okay, yeah.
You made it.
Yeah.
Outra coisa.
So you're sort of a nerd, right? Do you watch a lot of stuff? Like, you're a geek. Do you read like cartoons and shows and everything? What is it like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely would. Yeah, I would consider. I don't really like introduce myself that way. Like, hi, I'm Vince. I'm a geek. But
That's too much pressure, right?
Yeah. But yes, no, for sure. I mean, I have read a decent number of graphic novels. I love, Star Wars, love Lord of the Rings, read all the Game of Thrones books. I like anime. Love video games. I have a Twitch channel. I just started playing. I just started streaming a lot more on Twitch, which is great because it's worked with my schedule. So yeah, I have a variety of pop culture things I think I really like. I love the Marvel stuff. I saw you have your little Iron Man up there. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Have you seen Attack on Titan or anime?
I haven't seen Attack on Titan.
You gotta watch it.
Okay, I gotta do that, and I need to do Attack on Titan, and I need to do Death Note. Everyone was telling me to watch Death Note.
Death Note for sure.
Yeah.
So let me test you here. You gotta choose one thing or the other, either one or. So two options, you choose one or the other. DC or Marvel. You can only pick one.
Well, I worked on some DC animated movies, and I played Robin and Red Hood in them. So I have to say DC. And I'm extremely biased.
You better. You better. That's good for a career.
Yeah.
Darth Vader or Kylo Ren?
I actually like Kylo Ren more. I feel like that. Yeah, I have his TIE fighter from The Last Jedi. I have like the Lego set that I just recently bought off eBay and I built. And I have an action figure of his on my bookshelf. And I used to have him on I used to have a Lego Kylo Ren on my keychain, but it broke, which is a tragedy. I was very upset. Probably the worst day of my life.
Do you spend money with dolls? Tell my wife. This is not money wasted. Tell her that's not wasted money.
No, it's not. It's not wasted money. It's an investment.
It's an investment.
Yeah. I'm a big Lego fan too. I have too many Legos.
Walking Dead or Game of Thrones?
So you're doing this to me again. I was on The Walking Dead for 3 episodes. So,
But you died.
Mas morreu.
but I died. No, I got to go Walking Dead, the TV show, but Game of Thrones, the books, because those are my favorite books I've ever read. I love the Game of Thrones books. Have you read those?
I'm on the second one. I read the
Tô no
first.
segundo, li o primeiro só.
On the second one? Oh, have fun. They're great. And then you can read Fire and Blood afterwards. That's the one for the show that they're doing now. It's like a history book, though. It's not like a narrative. It's like a history book. Yeah.
É.
And it's not over yet,
terminou
right?
ainda,
He's
né?
kind of
Ele tá
stalling to
enrolando
end
pra
the
terminar
last
o último
book, right?
livro, né?
He has 2 more books to write. He has
Two?
6 and 7. Yeah, 5 of them are out, and he has 6 and 7.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, his books. It usually takes him like 10 plus years to write the book. So,
You know why, right?
know.
Sabe por quê, né? Ele falou
He
que ele não,
said he
ele não
doesn't plan the books, he
planeja
just
os livros, ele vai
writes,
escrevendo,
and he kind of
vai
understands the
entendendo a
story,
história
and he
e
goes
vai-
on and on.
Interesting.
Like
É
Stephen
como
King.
Stephen
I didn't know that.
They're
chamam
called
Okay.
escritor,
gardener
jardineiro.
writers.
Sabe,
You have
tem
two
dois
kinds of
tipos de escritor,
writers.
o
You have the gardener
que é
and the
jardineiro
architect.
e
The
o
architect
arquiteto. O arquiteto, ele
plans
planeja cada
every little
Plots it all
plot
out.
and everything.
plot e tal.
And the
I've
gardener,
never heard
E o
that. I love that.
jardineiro, é,
like
e
Stephen
o-
King
o
says that
Stephen
too.
King
He
também
said,
fala
why am I
isso,
going to write a
por
book
que
if
que
I know
você
the end
escreveu
of
isso?
it?
Já sei o final dele.
And the same for
E
Martin.
o Martin
So
também. Então
they
eles
just
vão
go with the flow. They
escrevendo e
they
vão
see
vendo
how
os
the
personagens
characters
evoluindo.
develop,
E às
and
vezes o cara
they get into
entra
a
num
dead
buco
end. They have to
tem que
rewrite and stuff.
reescrever e
So
tudo mais. Eu
I
diria
really
que quem
admire,
faz
but I
assim, mas
wouldn't make it.
Have you? Did you make up those terms for the writers, or is that
No.
Is that in Stephen
Eu não
King's
sei-
book
eu não sei
on
se-
writing?
Eu não sei.
You know how he has that writing book? Is it in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stephen King
ele
said
falou,
that.
já falou sobre
I don't know if
isso.
this
Eu não
is
sei
the
se
very
esses
right
termos
terms
foi
that
o
Stephen King
Stephen
came with,
King
or
usa de outra
he coined
pessoa.
that, or
Mas
he
existe
uses
esses
from someone
termos
else. But
de
there are those,
escritor,
Yeah.
like the gardener,
porque o jardineiro,
writer,
o que
because
faz?
they know what
Ele
they
sabe o que ele
planted.
plantou. É
They know it's like it's an apple tree. You're gonna get apples, but you don't know how big or how many branches you're gonna have,
You
how
don't know
many
how-
apples you're gonna get. You don't know.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay, next one.
Vamos lá,
Xbox or
próximo.
PlayStation?
Xbox ou PlayStation? PlayStation.
Yeah, I PS5. Yeah, I stream on PS5. Yeah, I was an Xbox person for the longest time, and then it changed.
Really?
I went over to PlayStation. Yeah, and now I'm a PlayStation guy.
Now it's complicated.
Agora é
How I Met
complicado.
Your
How I
Mother
Met
or
Your Mother
Friends?
ou Friends?
You know, I grew up with Friends over How I Met Your Mother. I was a little bit older when How I Met Your Mother was coming out, so I would go Friends. But I'd go Seinfeld over both of them. I like Seinfeld more than Friends or How I Met Your Mother. Do you like Seinfeld?
Friends.
Friends.
You like Friends? Okay.
Seinfeld. Yeah, I really
Seinfeld.
like it. I really like
Eu gosto
Seinfeld.
muito de Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld. Seinfeld's I like it more than the
And
other
The
two.
Office.
E The Office.
Oh, I like The Office and Parks and Recreation. I love Parks and Recreation.
Ah.
Yeah.
Agora,
Now,
é,
your
o
Italian
lado
side.
italiano.
Lasagna or
Lasanha
pizza?
ou pizza?
Pizza. Yeah, I like pizza more than lasagna. My favorite is tortellini. I like tortellini, but lasagna, tortellini, it's almost
Ah,
like
okay, the
it's
pasta.
almost like a ravioli. Yeah,
Ah, tá.
pasta. But I prefer that than lasagna. Yeah, I like lasagna, but it's a little too much sometimes.
Mandíbula,
Ô,
go ahead.
Mandíbula,
You had a
manda aí
question.
pergunta que você queria-
That one.
Aquela que você falou que queria perguntar.
Okay, I got a
Ah,
few.
tem-
Yeah,
tem
but that
algumas
one.
aí.
É, mas aquela lá.
Mas,
I'm kidding, man. Whatever.
Brincando,
Ah,
você
tá.
tem várias.
Whatever is that one.
Qualquer uma é aquela lá.
não,
I like
mas
to say
eu
that
queria
the
falar,
show
a série se
happens
passa no
is set in
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn,
né?
right?
A série toda
Everybody
todo
hates
mundo
Chris.
Mas
Did
vocês
you shoot in
gravaram
New
em
York?
Nova York?
No, never for Everybody Hates Chris. We filmed at Paramount Studios in Los Angeles, which was really cool because we got to see a lot of amazing movies and TV shows film on the same lot as us. Like when we were there, like
Really?
the J.J. Abrams Star Trek was filming across from us. Mission Impossible 3 filmed next to us. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was filming while we were filming. It was very wild getting to film on a studio like that. I filmed things in New York. I lived in New York for a couple of years. I moved back after COVID, but I love New York. It's a great place. But no, we never shot the show there.
And the lots are huge, right? Like to build everything. I mean, like Star Trek or whatever.
Massive. Yeah. Oh, they're huge. And when you see the sets on a movie that's that big, that has such a big budget, those sets are nicer than any sets you're ever going to be on. Like when I worked on The Walking Dead, I was only on it for 3 episodes, but when I was on it, it was the most popular show in the United States. Like it was the biggest show. And so those sets and the makeup, like it was just unlike any other set I'd been on because they could afford it. You know, they could really afford to like let the artists run wild, and it looked amazing. So it's like that when you see a really, I can't imagine being on set for like Star Wars or something, you know what I mean? Like something where they can spend, you know, $200, $300 million, and you can see those sets and see like a spaceship being built. You know, I've never been on a set like that, but it'd be cool.
So let's talk about The Walking Dead. What was it like? How were you invited to the show? I mean, if you never saw it, just it's based on a graphic novel, right? It's a very famous graphic novel. So were you into the show before? How was it to be invited for the show?
I loved the show before I worked on it, and I honestly just auditioned for the show like I would audition for anything else. That was the one day I was ever late to film a cartoon. It was crazy. I had this audition that I knew I had to do for The Walking Dead, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do it after work." Yeah, that's me. I was like, "I'll do it after work," and my apartment lost power. Like we had a storm, and so my alarm clock shut off, and they like sent someone to my door because I'd never been late for work before. Whoa. And so like my coworkers thought something happened to me, and so like they sent someone, and so I got my audition in for The Walking Dead so late. It was like the last audition that they saw. And they liked it, and they hired me, and then I got to go to Georgia, which is in the South in the United States. It was in the Southern United States. And, we filmed at this fake prison that they built. It's an amazing set. That's all just built into the side of the studio, so you can enter the prison and then go into the studio.
So that's in the studio is not like a natural thing?
Yeah. Wow. That's the exterior of the studio that they built all that on, and you can open the doors to the prison and walk in, and that's the studio. Like, that's amazing. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah.
That is so cool. Go ahead, Mandíbula.
Eu queria
Just
só
one
falar uma
quick
curiosidade
fun
rápida,
fact.
que
The last episode of Everybody Hates Chris is pretty much a mirror of the last episode of The Sopranos. It's identical. What do you mean? Explain that. Scene by scene, they are at a snack bar, both shows. Characters go in. Even the camera cuts, focus on Chris, focus on someone walking the door. Focus on Tony Soprano, focus on someone walking through the door. And the ending. So now you think you're like the big movie critic, right? Okay. And the ending is like really sudden, a cut, and it's over. Both on Sopranos and Everybody Hates Chris. And I've read that Everybody Hates Chris, the show ends because theoretically what would happen later was that Chris's dad would have died. Like right after this event. I'd like to know if Vincent knows if it's true or not, because a lot has been said about it.
I've never heard that before, so I don't think so.
He's got crack issues, so don't take him seriously.
Yeah. No, I've never heard that before, so that's not how it was explained to me when it was happening. And I think they would have said that. I know one thing that they always wanted to do, that they always talked about at least, was they wanted to end the show before Chris Rock got famous. Like they didn't want the end of the show to be him on Saturday Night Live. You know, they wanted it to be him growing up. So yeah, I though I'm not the writer, I can't like 100% say that that's not the case. I'm like 98% sure that that's not true.
Actually, there are videos on YouTube here in Brazil explaining the end of Everybody Hates Chris with like subliminary messages, like the car plate is like the date when Chris's dad died, and he died like this because a car drives like that and he died like that. Like conspiracy theories, right? Did you know that?
Wow. Yeah.
Had you heard of that?
I never heard that. I guess I'm not surprised. Like the internet is undefeated, so sorry about that. I guess I'm not surprised, but I've never heard that before in my life. And there's conspiracy theories about a lot of shows I've worked on or movies where I've never heard that, and someone's like, "Have you gone down this Reddit page?" And yeah, so I've never heard that though.
I'm really impressed with how creative people can be, and also how long people have available to think about those things, right?
Yeah, people just have the time to create these conspiracy theories, and I can't say I'm any, I'll go down an internet rabbit hole every once and again, so yeah.
Okay, sure. So let's see what the people in the chat want to know about you. Go ahead, Tucci.
Oh yeah, the questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of people asking questions. The women in Brazil want to know. Okay, well, hold on. The women in Brazil want to know, or do you want to know? Well, okay, I'll leave it up to you. So the women in Brazil and someone else, and maybe me, we want to know. I mean, the women in Brazil want to know if he's single. That's it.
You know, I don't talk about my dating life out
Got
in public. I like to keep some stuff private. Yeah. I'm sorry to let you down. I know this was your question.
Okay.
Tudo bem.
Yeah.
Tudo bem.
Douglas
Ó,
Mello
Douglas
said
Mello falou,
you
"Você
were
fez uma
a
grande
great
atuação em
act
comédia com o papel do
on
Existem
Greg.
outros trabalhos
Is
que
there
você
any
fez
other show with the same
Chris,
style?
qual
What kind of
estilo você
style do you
prefere?
prefer?
Comédia
Comedy,
ou
or do you
gostaria
like
de
to
atuar em
act
outro
in like
como
drama or
drama ou
terror?
I don't think I have a preference on anything. I you know, there when I was younger, I feel like I had a checklist of things I thought would be fun. And one of them was doing something horror related, and I did that on The Walking Dead, so that was really cool. I would love to do something like a Western, just because that's like an absolute classic. Or to do something fantasy related, you know, but it's pretty hard to work on stuff like that just because there's not a lot of it. There's not a lot of, you know, there's not that many Lord of the Rings shows happening right now, or Game of Thrones. But yeah, there's plenty of things that I haven't done in my career that I think will be really fun, but we'll see.
Ask another question, but not like for famous thing, like gossip show. It's not a gossip show, okay? Oh, you're dating. When was the last time you traveled with a girl or whatever? No, we're not. It's not like celebrity gossip. You like criticizing me when you're on air, right? I know. So a lot of people are asking on what's your relationship today with Tyler James Whalen. Do you meet? Where does he live? Where do you live? Are you friends? What is it like, your relationship with Tyler?
Where does he live? That's really funny.
Because that's what it's like in Brazil. We're like, where do you live?
Yeah. No, Tyler's awesome. Like I said, I've known Tyler since I was 12, 13 years old. Yeah, we're friends. We support one another, and I'm just super excited that everyone else gets to see like how talented he is all the time on Abbott Elementary now. I mean, he's worked on a lot of great stuff, and I've always thought that he's hilarious. Like he even popped up in like a Key and Peele sketch that I thought was so good. But pretty recently I saw.
What's that sketch? Do you remember? I want to see that.
Oh, Key and Peele. Yeah, they're doing a joke about Urkel from the 80s sitcom, and Tyler plays Urkel.
Cool.
But yeah, the last time I saw him, actually, I was moving into my apartment when I was moving back from New York. I moved back to Los Angeles, and as I was moving things into my new like home, someone was yelling at me from the street, like calling me names, and I turned around like mad because I was like, who was yelling at me? And I turned around and it was like Tyler, like stopped in his car, and he's like, ha ha, and then like sped off. And then he texted me. He was like, you were actually really mad, weren't you? And I was like, I didn't know it was you, man. And he was like, all right, yeah. And we talked for a while, but it was funny that like he caught me like the day I moved back to the West Coast. But he's a super nice guy. So yeah, no, I consider him a good friend.
Do you like living in LA on the West Coast? What do you prefer? Do you prefer Florida?
Not Florida.
No.
No, not Florida. I really like New York and Los Angeles for completely different reasons. They're so different. But I love Los Angeles. All my work is there, like right now. Like I loved living in New York, but after COVID, it just didn't really make any sense. Like all the cartoons I work on, and I work on like 3 different cartoons right now. Those all recorded at Burbank, which is an area of Los Angeles. That's where all the studios are. And so it just made more sense to move back to Los Angeles. And I know a lot of people there because I kind of half the time grew up there, you know, because I was shooting Everybody Hates Chris. So I love Los Angeles. And it's a pretty long flight from LA to here, though. Yeah, I stopped. It was cool because I did a Comic-Con in Texas.
Yeah.
How long was the flight?
Yeah.
So it was 3-ish hours, and I did a Comic-Con in San Antonio. I did a Riverwalk Anime was what it was called, and then I went to Houston, and then from Houston to here, I thought it was gonna be like 4 hours.
No,
I don't know why
man.
I thought that. And I was like, oh, this will be a quick flight, and then like getting on the plane, I was like, what does this say? That's like 9 hours, and I was like, oh my god. So it took a while, but I'm, you know, it's okay. I've really enjoyed this trip, and I'm excited to come back more regularly and hopefully make good friendships. You know, like I said, it's been great meeting all you guys, and you've all been so welcoming. So it's also nice to meet like other creative people who are also comedians and, you know, who entertain people here. Because I don't know if you ever find this, because you interview a lot of people. I find it so interesting seeing the different styles of how people perform in different countries and like what's funny in different places and like what type of performances. Do you find that interesting when you interview people? Because
Yeah,
I find
that's
that super
definitely interesting.
fascinating.
Like what each culture finds funny. Something's funny
Yeah.
here, and maybe it's not funny in the US, and it may not be funny in the UK or Spain, whatever.
Or the way that you
course.
perform it, like not even just the joke, but the way you say the joke, you know. And I find that so interesting, and so yeah, I that's something wonderful about traveling, and especially getting to travel for work where you talk to other performers. So yeah, it was a long flight, and I'm glad I'm here.
Have you seen the eclipse last week?
You know, I saw part of it. It wasn't full in California. It was like half. And
I guess Texas was one of the best places to see, right?
Yeah, I wasn't in Texas yet. Yeah, if I was just in Texas a week earlier, but no. Could you guys see it really well?
No, we couldn't see it at all
good
here.
here.
Not at all. No,
not at all.
Nada.
Oh, that's right. It was only North America, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, once again, they
Sorry.
forgot about Brazil.
That's messed up. I'll have a word with the moon for you.
Yeah, please. She's not really into us. We're gonna have another one in 2026. I guess it's the northern hemisphere as well, but that's gonna be like Europe. A total eclipse of
Okay.
the sun. One more question, Tucci. Go ahead. Well, they're asking if you think that in the future, just like there's gonna be like a remake to the show, to Everybody Hates Chris, like a remake.
I doubt it. I wouldn't think so. Oh, you mean a remake, not like a continuation, not like a reboot?
Remake.
Like a remake. Oh, like a remake. I guess that's possible that they could hire a bunch of new kids and do it again. I kind of doubt it though. I wouldn't really think so. I mean, I think that the humor made a lot of sense for when it was on TV. But if they do it, I'm sure that they'll cast really great young actors, and it's hard being a performer of any kind, but especially a young actor. So if they do it, I hope all those kids do a great job. I'm sure they will. Yeah.
You said about comic sketches on stage. Have you ever done like stand-up comedy, or that's not part of your plan?
I don't really do stand-up comedy. I mean, I've done it before, but it's not really it's not. I have. It's not really a plan of mine. What I mostly do, like I said, is I do sketch comedy, and you can all see that on my Instagram. I do sketch comedy with an actor named Mikey Reed. You guys can follow him too on Instagram if you'd like to. And he's a really talented comedian. He was on a show here that I think was popular here called Victorious. It was like a Nickelodeon show. I think that was popular here too, right?
Sim.
Right?
The name in Portuguese is Brilhante Vitória.
Okay.
It was pretty successful.
Yeah, he was on that. Okay, yeah. Well, we do comedy together a lot. We do sketch comedy. And we had a variety show in New York that we did sketch comedy in. And we've done like sketch fests. So I've never done stand-up really seriously, more as like a hobby and trying it. But sketch comedy I've been doing for years, and I love it. I think it's so much fun. Yeah.
Have you ever worked with improv?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's actually something I started learning how to do on Everybody Hates Chris, is because those actors, Tashina and Terry, would improvise all the time. Yeah, they would improvise all the time. And I started learning how to do that there. But obviously, I've done improv on stage before, and I've done it with other comedians. It's fun, and it's a really useful skill for all performers to know how to improvise. Like, that's just a useful.
But like the improv games, kind of like the end show, like showing that kind of thing.
Yeah. They make you do
like whose line is it anyway?
Whose line is it anyways? I've never done a show like that where I've performed live where they ask you questions like that. But I've done where they shout out suggestions and things like that. But yeah, I've done a decent amount of improv, but probably not in like 2 years on stage.
Got it.
Otherwise, I just do it when I'm working. I'll improvise like lines or parts of a scene. Yeah.
Do you have that kind of freedom? Do writers get mad at you when you kind of add bits and pieces to it?
Yeah, I mean, generally, especially with comedy, they're okay with you improvising. You can't always do it in animation because you don't always have the time. Like when we do a show like Phineas and Ferb, or you have a show like SpongeBob that's like 11 minutes long. There's like 2 episodes in a half an hour. You know what I mean? That's a really tight script, and they have to keep the jokes going. Joke. And so with those things we don't have as much room to improvise as like a 30-minute cartoon, something like, Family Guy or like The Simpsons, which are much longer. So that varies. But on every comedy, whether it was a movie or a TV show that I've worked on, they are totally fine with you improvising. Now, you might not get a laugh. You might you might improvise and it might suck. But these are the risks we take.
Sure. Sure,
Com
absolutely.
certeza, com certeza.
Go ahead, Tucci.
Fala, Tucci.
I mean, is the video right?
O vídeo tá aqui. Mesmo
Oh,
que-
yeah, the video from
mesmo
Eric.
que a gente-
Even if
a
I
gente vai escutar,
don't
mesmo que
hear
a
it,
gente escute, pode
if the
ser-
audiences
se a audiência tiver
can hear it,
escutando, pode ser
that would be
bom.
good.
Fala, Vincent. Fala, Vilela. Fala, galera que tá assistindo o Inteligência.
People
Tudo
here.
certinho
The
com vocês? Eu
audience
sou o
can
Eric
hear it.
Buglé. Eu sou o dublador do Vincent aqui no Brasil. Eu que dublei ele no Todo Mundo Odeia o Chris. E eu tô aqui porque eu queria mandar um abração pra vocês dois, pra todo mundo que tá assistindo também. Eu queria muito, muito, muito tá aí batendo esse papo com vocês, mas eu não consegui tempo de ir pra São Paulo. Eu tô aqui no Rio, no estúdio. Mas próxima vez eu tenho certeza que vai rolar. E Vincent, a gente ainda vai se encontrar. Eu tenho fé disso. A gente já vai rolar uma dublagem ao vivo. Então aproveitem bastante. Espero que o papo esteja maravilhoso. Tenho certeza que vai estar. E eu vou estar assistindo em casa com toda certeza. Vincent, o Brasil tá tão na sua. Abração, gente.
Foi, ele tá falando.
So you want to tell him what he
Quer
said?
falar pra ele o que ele falou? Ele falou que
He's
ele
saying
tá-
that he's got
ele tá
another
com outro
job,
trabalho,
he
ele
should
não
be
pôde
here,
vir pra cá.
but he's on
Ele tá
another
aqui
gig,
fazendo outro
and he
trabalho.
told you to really
Então,
enjoy
vamos
Brazil,
aproveitar
right?
muito o
That was his
Brasil,
message
né?
to you, right? That's it. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Tucci,
Manda uma
question.
pergunta, Tucci.
Ó, vamos
So,
lá.
Ana Paula
A
Cordeiro
mandou-
Send the following question.
se ele
Were
se
you
assustou com
in
a
awe, like
recepção dos
scared with the
brasileiros e
reception that you got
também
here in Brazil?
se eles
Or
têm a informação
Do
que
you
o seu
really
Tyler
know if
realmente
Tyler
odeia o
really
Brasil,
hates
não?
Brazil or not?
Nossa.
Oh no, I mean I don't know anything about that. You'd have to talk to him about that. But all I know of Tyler is him being a really nice, really awesome guy. So you'd have to ask him any questions.
Tell him to come to
Fala pra ele
Brazil.
vir pra cá.
Convince him to come over to Brazil. Like, come to Brazil.
Venha pra Brasil.
Yeah, I'll have to bring it up with him sometime. But yeah, he genuinely is a really nice, talented guy. So
Bring him a
Leva uma
coxinha
coxinha
from
pra ele
here.
aqui.
That convince him to come.
dude, this was really good. Yeah, who wouldn't want to come here after that? Yeah, and this. Thank you.
Muito
Thank you
bom,
so much.
muito bom.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tucci.
Fala, Tucci.
Ó, eu
I got
tenho
one
uma
very
pergunta
specific
muito
question,
específica,
which
que é
is
uma
my own
pergunta
question
minha.
now.
Tá.
I'd like to
Tá,
know
eu queria
if
saber se
you
ele
know
conhece
Cássio.
o Cássio.
Cássio?
Cássio.
Yeah,
Sim.
let's get the
Bota
picture
a
up.
foto lá pra gente, por favor.
He wants to know if you know the
Goleiro
goalkeeper for
do
Corinthians.
Não, é essa foto. Essa daqui.
That one, no. What's that, man?
Que isso, cara?
No, I've
que
never
falam-
seen this man in my life.
Falam-
Why are you asking
Por que você
about
tá
him
perguntando
specifically?
do Cássio?
Because
Cara,
people
porque falam
say
que é o
that
Cássio
Vincent
do
is
Vincent,
Cassio's
o
lost
perdido do
brother.
Falam que você é o irmão perdido do
Oh,
It's the
Is-
goalkeeper
is-
of the
do
biggest
maior
team in
time do
Brazil,
How-
que é o
Corinthians.
Corinthians.
So people think we look alike.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
how does Cassio? How would he guard the goal if he's as short as I am? How does that work? Is
Não,
he-
não, ele
Yeah, he's
tem
pretty
bastante-
tall.
Oh, he's tall. Okay. Yeah, no, I've never seen him before, but good-looking guy.
Well,
Olha,
well, what can I
como
say?
eu posso dizer pra ele isso? Não,
Cassio is a
Cássio,
good-looking
cara,
guy. I cannot
Eu-
say
eu
anything
peguei
about
a fala do
Cassio.
Cássio
É verdade,
aqui.
verdade.
Eu
Okay.
fui-
I'm not gonna be mean to this guy. I don't know this guy at all. What if he's waiting outside?
That's right.
É,
Go ahead, Tucci.
Fala, Tucci.
So I'll pass it on to Mandibula because, I mean, people don't know, but Mandibula is here in case you haven't noticed, right? Yeah, Mandibula, go ahead.
Mandíbula, fala.
Thank you.
Muito
What is-
obrigado.
Tá.
Tucci has just asked if Vincent was like in awe with the reception here in Brazil because everything was so fast. It was like a boom. But there are some American actors who want to surf that same wave. You know, like Andrew McFarlane was Tony on My Wife and Kids. And he saw that Vincent is really booming here. And what did he do? Supposedly, he made a neck tattoo saying that he loves the Brazilian audience. And he's got a picture with a very similar jersey or shirt saying, I love my Brazilian fans.
Okay.
Okay, you're making history.
I don't know if I know who he is. Okay. So he saw that people really liked it, and so he wants people to like him now?
Yes.
É.
That's really funny that I started like a trend.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
E além dele,
And
o
Marlon Wayans as well.
Também?
O Marlon
and
Wayans,
Marlon
Yeah.
Wayans.
He posted a
ele postou uma
picture
foto, inclusive,
saying that
dizendo
he's
que
got
é
a
CPF,
Brazilian
um
ID
documento
already. He
brasileiro
puts a
na-
picture with the Brazilian ID. That he's got it.
Well, that's funny. Yeah,
So you started
Começou
something
uma
that's
coisa
gonna have no end now.
agora.
I guess so. Yeah. No. I mean, next week when you see Robert De Niro in a "I'm Famous in Brazil" shirt, you'll know who started that. It's the only thing in Robert De Niro's life I could take credit
Woody
for.
Allen.
Woody
I'm
Allen
famous
vai
in
dar aqui,
Brazil.
Sou famoso no Brasil.
I really hope it's not him.
Olha lá.
There you go.
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen the guy on the right. I know who Marlon Wayans
What's
is.
his
of course.
name? He was on My Wife and Kids.
Eu, a Patroa e as
É,
Crianças.
mas eu não sei como...
Me, My Wife and Kids.
Okay.
He was on My Wife and
Me, My
Kids.
Wife and Kids.
Is he saying he's more famous? Or is he
He's
saying,
saying,
what
I
he's saying?
love my Brazilian fans.
Oh, he loves his
fans.
Brazilian fans. Okay, because,
Yeah.
eu amo as I love. Okay.
Aí o
Marlon Wayans
tá
is saying
dizendo
that
que
you have
vocês
fans,
são
I
fãs,
have
eu
the
tenho
Brazilian
CPF,
ID
que é
already.
documento brasileiro.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
It's a kind of competition now.
competição agora.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, you know where to find the original. It's right,
That is
right
so
here.
right.
Exato.
Yeah.
The man
o homem
who
que deu
originated
origem à
the
série.
whole series.
Yeah. I guess who originated all these pictures. Yeah, I'm so curious if other people will do this now. I know that people have been, like, fans have been taking pictures in shirts like that. They've tagged me in those, but I didn't see the other actors doing it. That's funny.
What's that?
O que é isso aí, Tucci?
Yeah, what's up, man? Like, it's just
Oh
standing there.
no! Oh no!
Não,
Oh no!
não.
No. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
Ok. Ele quer que você fale. Ele tá,
He's so
ele
into
tá
you.
tão
I didn't even
na-
realize you guys were kissing because I was just staring at this dessert because it looks
He
delicious.
wants you to say,
Ele quer que
dude,
você fale,
you're
tá
so
tão
in
na
there.
sua. Vai.
Dude, you're so in there.
Pronto, obrigado,
Yeah.
obrigado. Isso daqui... Isso daqui, ó.
I don't know if you ever
Não sei
tried
se já
it. This is
experimentou,
brigadeiro.
É brigadeiro.
It's like a
É um
Brazilian
doce brasileiro
chocolate
de
fudge kind of
chocolate.
thing.
O que é? Chocolate
It's
e o quê?
chocolate powder
I had
and
Brigadeiro
condensed
last
milk.
night. It's really good.
É.
What is this though? I've never had that.
This is
Aqui é
called
Carolina.
Carolina.
Carolina, isso.
Carolina, o que tem? É doce de leite?
It's
É
dulce de leite in the middle. It's like an eclair.
chocolate em cima e doce de leite dentro.
Okay, I'm definitely doing this one first.
Ok.
Go ahead, Tucci, or whoever.
Tucci ou Mandíbula?
Go ahead,
Vou passar
Mandíbula.
por antes.
I'd like to
queria
know
saber,
mostly from
principalmente do
Vincent
Vincent,
if
aqui, se
he's
ele
got
tem
any
algum
favorite episodes
episódio
to
favorito de
Everybody Hates
Really
Chris.
good.
Because
Porque o... Só, eu não sei
I don't know
se,
if Vincent
se o
knows,
Vincent
but
sabe,
that's
uma
a fun
curiosidade
fact.
também.
The show,
a série
yeah,
passa-
tell him that.
Fala pra
Faz,
ele.
It's
faz
been like 10
tranquilamente,
years
faz
that the
uns
show
10 anos
has
que a série
been
passa
on
diária,
TV
sem
here in
parar,
Brazil every
diariamente,
day.
de sábado.
And on
Ela
Saturday it
começa,
starts at
tipo,
9 in
9
the
horas da
morning and it
manhã,
goes all the way
acaba
until
meio-dia,
noon.
passando
Você sabia?
um
Back-to-back
episódio
episodes.
atrás do outro.
You know, there are
Tem
YouTube
canal
channels
no
that
YouTube
show
que tá
that
passando
24/7.
24
Yes.
24 horas repetindo, sim.
Number one, that was really good.
Yeah, the Carolina is really
Carolina é
good.
muito bom.
Those are really good. I think I like that more than I even like that. Those are they're both good, but that one was really good.
And what's that?
Isso
That's
daqui, o que é?
pudding?
Pudim?
Yeah, this is it's a
Isso
flan.
aqui é pudim.
Okay.
É.
Yeah, maybe. Do I have any favorite episodes? Sorry to interrupt you about how delicious that was. One of my favorite episodes is there's an episode where Chris comes over to my house. Like Chris goes over to Greg's house, and my dad like gets really mad at us and stuff. There's a scene where we play Atari in that, and I just remember that me and Tyler, we were 13 years old. We're in this like fake house, and it was really hot. It was like we're in there all day shooting, but the Atari worked, so we were actually like playing Pong against each other like all day for like 6 hours. And we were kids, so we're like talking to each other and like trying to beat the other person. And everyone's like, we need to roll, we need to like shoot. And I did have a really fond like childhood memory of that episode. I also think it's a good episode, but that one always sticks out in my mind.
Go ahead. I like to talk about an episode or one specific joke that really gets to me, which when the opposite happens. Greg has a sleepover at Chris's, and he sleeps with the superhero clothes, but they have to leave very early to catch the bus because Chris lives far away, and he's sleeping in class when he gets to school, and Mrs. Morello said, "Are you drunk?" Because he slept at Chris's the next day, the previous night. That is something that
Everyone loves that line. A lot of people like that line with Mrs. Morello. Yeah, everyone likes that. And Jackie, the wonderful actress who plays her, is so funny on the show. Jacqueline is so funny. But yeah, I feel like people really like her character, Miss Morello, down here, right?
definitely. People love her.
Yeah.
I like the episode I told you about the hit and run that has hit by a car. It's one of the
esse é um
best.
dos melhores,
That
né?
Chris
Porque o Chris
hits
atropela o
Greg,
Greg,
and
e
Greg
o Greg
has to
tem que
make
fazer um
the
negócio falando,
yeah, he
"Não,
cannot
pode
say
falar
the
com ele,
sketch,
não pode
and
falar
they
que foi o que ele
think
Acabou achando
they find the guy who hit him,
maníaco.
but it was actually a maniac that was ended up arrested and everything.
That was the first time I had to use crutches, was when I did that, because I'd never broken. I'd broken a lot of bones, but it was like everything up here. I was just
What are you doing?
stupid. I was just stupid kid, just a stupid kid, climbing trees out of literally like falling out of trees. But I never broken anything on like my lower extremities, and so using the crutches was really hard for me. Have you ever had to use crutches?
Yes, for a long
Yeah.
time.
What'd you break?
My knees. I had 3 knee surgeries.
Whoa.
Playing soccer, right? Got hurt playing soccer.
Oh, did you tear your ACL? Your
Yeah,
ligament?
the ligament. Yeah, I tore that twice and one the meniscus. The kneecap. I had to operate on the
Oh
kneecap.
my
as
god,
well.
I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Yeah. How long did you have the crutches then?
Months. Because you have to go through physical therapy and everything.
I was gonna say physical therapy. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
this lady pushing your leg until it folds again. It's so horrible.
Yeah, I'm a distance runner, and I was always afraid that would happen to me because I'm not a
Like
professional athlete.
marathons?
Maratona?
I've run one marathon. Yeah, a lot of half marathons. Only one full marathon. But I injured my ankle pretty bad and had to do physical therapy. And yeah, there's the one lady who's just like snapping your, and you're just like, oh my god, no. But so that's amazing that you're able to recover. That's really hard. I saw some people in physical therapy who had torn their meniscus, and that's not easy. So good for you, man, coming back from that.
Yeah, that's pretty complicated.
Bem complicado.
Go ahead.
Fala.
I got one more.
Eu tenho mais uma. Que
Well,
era,
from the
desde
very
o começo,
beginning,
a
the idea
ideia
for the
do
show,
seriado era
was it
ter
to have
4
4 seasons
temporadas, ou foi
or a
passando
4
e
season
eles
show? Did they
decidiram
decide to stop
terminar
there,
ali,
or
ou
it
não era
shouldn't
nem pra
have
ser
stopped? They
terminado,
could have
podia
more
ter mais
episodes. So
episódios
how's
e
that? Was the original idea
talvez
4 seasons? Did
cancelaram,
they
alguma coisa
cancel?
assim.
What was the
Qual era o
original plan?
planejamento
Did they
original?
talk to you about it and how long this is gonna last?
Yeah, no, we knew that the 4th season was probably going to be our last one, not because we wanted to. There was a network that we were on, like a television station in the United States, and they were a new television network. They were very new, and they announced they were not going to do comedy anymore. They're like, we don't want any comedies. And so they canceled all of their comedies. And we knew we were going to get canceled. And one of the really funny memories I have from that is the last episode of the show that you're talking about. The end does mirror The Sopranos, but early in that episode, there's like a shootout and there's like a bunch of like guns and stuff. And I remember them being like, we can spend as much money as we want on this episode because we're going to be gone by the time they realize how over budget we went. There's nothing they can do about it. And so they like added a shootout to the episode and they did all this crazy stuff we'd never done before. And I was like, I admire that so much. I was like, good for you guys. Just like take the money and run. And it was great. So we had a lot of crazy stuff, but no, it was the network we were on. Yeah, wasn't doing comedy anymore. So a lot of comedies stopped filming after that year for that. Or I think we would have kept going, but because we all had a great time doing the show. So
Tucci, last question.
Última pergunta.
Well, there's a lot of
Muita
people
gente aqui
asking
perguntando também
if
se você, por
you
acaso, sentia alguma
were
certa
at all
raiva
angry
por tá vivendo,
for
o
experiencing
bullying com
that
Caruso, se
bullying,
você,
you know,
por
with
algum
Caruso. So
motivo,
if you
enfim,
kind of
deu uma
took it
encarnada,
personally.
Levava pro pessoal.
levava pro pessoal,
So
assim.
let me
Só deixa eu explicar uma
explain
coisa
something. I
pra
don't know
eles.
if you know, but they're actors.
São atores.
And whatever is happening in the show
Yeah.
is not happening to them in real life. They play a role, they read the paper. Like if somebody dies in the show, the person really didn't die, you know? Okay, got it, sorry. If anybody needs a live stream operator, I'm available.
Daniel Radcliffe, he plays Harry Potter, but he's not actually a wizard. I just want to make sure.
Did you know that?
Você sabia disso?
I just want to make sure that you know that.
You're kidding, right?
Okay. He is not really the boy who lived. I'm sorry to break this to you. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, there's
Yeah.
no Santa. I'll talk about it later.
No, but to answer your question seriously, sorry for ragging on you. I don't know you at all. To be, yeah.
Don't worry.
Fica à
Make
vontade.
yourself at home.
Fica à vontade.
No, but no, it never bothered me at all. It was what was funny was, you know, he pushed me into lockers a lot, and I'm already pretty small, but like they as we would shoot the show, we were growing. And so they'd always take the back off the lockers. So we'd never actually be like in a locker. He'd push you and you'd go out the back. Like you'd escape. But I remember as we were working on the show, me and Tyler were growing. And so they'd have to keep making the lockers bigger so that we could fit in the lockers. Because he needed to keep pushing us in lockers because they didn't want him to be like beating us up every episode, because then we'd have to have like black eyes every episode or something. So they were like, what can we do to show that he's always bullying them? And so it was always like knocking the books out of our hand or pushing us into lockers. And they just had to keep changing the locker size and then throwing us out the back of the lockers. So it was I always thought it was really funny. I never had a problem with it.
So, Vincent, I'd like to thank you so very much for our conversation. I am so happy we learned more about your work, about your life. Fabi is going to bring you açaí for you to try, but you're not free to go.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Where's Gilbert? Your manager's here. So thank him very much. He's going to say hi. Shout out to him.
Absolutely.
And I'll ask 3 questions at the end. Come on, Gilbert, say shout out to the people. So he's the one who made it possible. Should I sit in your lap? No, better not.
Yeah, in his
Go
lap.
ahead,
Yeah.
to the camera. There we go. Over to that camera. This is Gilbert. So you'll be back in João Pessoa in July, right?
Yeah, we'll be back in July because Gilbert and I work conventions together. He's the man, and so he got me hooked up with Imagination Land, and they've been fantastic hosting me and getting me in touch with a lot of wonderful people this week. And I'm gonna be back in July to go to that convention and meet a lot of fans. So hopefully I'll get to go to a lot of Comic-Cons and come meet more fans in Brazil. So if you guys want me to come and hang out, just let me know. I'd love to visit like your fans more.
Please do come back. And well, I'll take him to Augusta Street, which is the place that he doesn't know, but is my wife there yet?
No?
I'm kidding, honey. Just kidding. No, we're not going to Augusta Street. We're not going there.
Okay.
Augusta is a place where you have like girls who...
Like the red light district?
That's it. You got it.
Okay.
Anyways, Vincent, thank you so much. You're such a cool, nice, talented guy. And we're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
Because our fans and the people here, people who are in our channel, they really asked you to come. So thank you so much. I'll ask the last 3 questions that I asked. Oh, candidates.
Yeah.
I'm bringing candidates for the next election, so I'm confused. Anyway, I asked those questions to all my 3 guests. It's going to be no different with you. So the first question is, what was the toughest moment in your life?
The toughest moment in my life? I think one of the hardest things that happens in a lot of people's lives is that happen to me at times is especially with an actor, is when it's been a while and I haven't worked or something, is you start questioning your decisions, where it's like, oh, did I make a mistake pursuing this thing that I love? And luckily I always break out of that funk, and I've been able to work on stuff, and I'm lucky that I'm working consistently. But you have moments of doubting doing the thing that you love the most. And so that's some of the harder times, is where it's like, was I stupid to have made my life this and to pursue this thing that's very hard to do? It's hard to be successful at. And so those have been some of my tougher times, is being was this all, a big, was I wrong? Am I not as talented as I thought I was? Do people care about, this project that I just did? I know that sounds very self-centered, actually, now that I'm hearing myself say it, but just questioning your dreams, I guess, is something that I've had that ends up being tough. Yeah.
I feel that you're very grateful for what you've done, although that kind of thing happens in a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what's your second question?
Second question is, I don't know if you know, I don't know if you're told, but we're gonna die someday. You're aware of that, right? Eventually we die. I'm sorry, but
this is devastating news. Yeah.
It's gonna take a while, don't worry. Actually, it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody hates Chris, and this show, they're going to be online forever, and people are going to be watching and rewatching. So send a message, a shout out for people who are maybe watching this podcast in 342 years in the future. So what will be your words on, that you would leave on your grave?
After words that I'd leave on my grave, on my gravestone? On my gravestone. Probably, probably, hey, where's Perry? Which is a line from the show Phineas and Ferb. The Perry the Platypus, as you saw earlier, he goes missing every day, and so I ask it every episode. So I want everyone who walks by my tombstone to be like, what is he talking about? Who is he looking for? And confuse everyone at the gravesite. Yeah.
One person came here, a comedian, said that he wants to say on his gravestone, did I say I was sick? That's very good, huh?
I told you. I told you it wasn't just a cough. Yeah.
And the third question is, we have a time machine and you can go back to any time in your life or in history of mankind. Where would you go back to and why?
In my history or
either
all
in
history?
your lifetime or any time in history of mankind.
Stupid. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'd go back. I think I'd want to have experienced some of the 60s and some of the 70s. So I'd like to go back to the 60s or the 70s. Really good music. Everything was so cheap too, and you could go and go and watch a lot of really great music and connect with people. I feel like in a way that we probably don't as much anymore because we're always, everything's online and stuff, which I don't mind at all. But, I want to be able to go to like a concert with, go see like the Beatles or go see like the Doors or something. That would be cool,
I'll be with you then. Love the destination.
Let's go, yeah.
So thank you so very much again. This is the way we eat açaí
So what is this?
here in
This
Brazil.
açaí?
It's a berry
Okay.
from the Amazon. And we mix it with condensed milk and other fruits. So thank you so very much. And please, a shout out, a message to your Brazilian fans, everybody watching here. Please say goodbye the way you want to. Feel free.
Yeah, what camera should I
That
look
one
in, I
over here.
guess? That one right there. Hey, thank you so much to everyone in Brazil who has supported me throughout my entire career, who's supporting me now. Thanks for all the follows on, my Instagram and my Twitch and my TikTok. I hope you guys keep following along with my career and you keep enjoying my work. That would be great. But I'll see you all very soon again. Thank you so much to everyone in Brazil.
So try it and be honest. Tell me what you think of it.
All right. That's good.
Good, huh?
That's good. That's better. That's better, but this is good.
So again, he's going to be at Imagine Land in July. So let's leave the info on the video description. I don't know if we're going to have a link to that. And people can buy their tickets. If they cannot buy tickets yet, we're going to tell all the info about it. Go ahead, Fabi. You keep running here and there. What do you want? 26, 27, 28th of July in the city of João Pessoa. I see you there, right?
Yeah. I'll see you all there.
Exactly. So thank you all. Thank you, our sponsors. Thank you, Tucci. I have to thank you too, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks to all your crew too. Obrigado, everybody.
Exactly.
Thank you all.
So thank you, Tucci. Thank you, Mandíbula. Thank you, the whole crew. We got a lot of people here. We got Banguela is filming us. How are you? So like the video, share the video, and you're paying attention to the chat. So what the things that people write on the chat to prove that they came to the end of the show. So to prove that you came to the end of the show, just say, dude, you're into it. Yeah, cara, ela tá tão na sua. Dude, you're so in there. And also make a comment on your favorite episode where everybody hates Chris. No, Friends. No, you talk about your favorite Friends episode. Come on, Tucci. Come on. What are you saying? Thank you. Sorry. Thank you again.
He's disappointed I'm not Jennifer Aniston. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kisses. Bye.